Hi, this is Coach Ryan of VG Sports, and as we continue breaking down coverage or giving you an idea of the different defensive coverages, we're going to now move on to the cover 2 zone. All right, this is a full cover 2 zone. This isn't cover 2 man. We're actually talking about cover 2 zone. So what's the actual difference? We just sat and talked about cover 2 and all the benefits of running a cover 2. But when running cover 2 zone, it's more of a keep everything in front of you type defense. It's what you hear a lot about as the bend but don't break defenses. You want to keep the offense in front of you, and you want to come down aggressive and stop plays wherever the ball is. Wherever the offense gets the ball to the receiver. So one of the main things when we're talking about cover 2 zone is one, you need to make sure that you have good tackling corners, good tackling linebackers, because you don't want anybody breaking tackles against a cover 2 zone. Your job is you have your corners normally sitting off in zone coverage. So again, we're looking at this. So normally we have our corners in man-to-man. In cover 2 zone, they used to have the setup was a 5-yard area. All right, so you would sit 5 yards off the ball. Now, most people run 10 yards. I wouldn't go that deep. If you're going to run that with your team, I say let's sit these corners around 7 yards. All right. So I'm going to sit them around 7, and I still think that's a little deep, but it's better than 10. All right, because that's nine additional feet that we're not giving up. All right, so we're going to sit these guys right here, 7 yards back. All right, and their job is to basically at the snap, we want these guys looking in at the quarterback. All right, and at 2 seconds. 1,000, 2,000, they should be looking for slant. If there isn't a slant within that time frame, they need to be backing out because normally that means they're going deeper. And actually, you know what? Because they're in cover 2 zone and there's normally flat zone, we want to keep them there because I really don't want them, depending on your youth squads, I don't want them actually going back too far and really getting out of position. So let's just go ahead and keep them in the flat areas, because teams like to run swing routes or screens and things of that nature. All right, your safeties in cover 2 zone is just like cover 2 man. They're both going to be playing out in deep half. All right, again, deep half. So you have your safeties in deep half. You have your corners in a zone, a flat zone, sitting at 7 yards. All right, and what they're going to do is they're going to come up and they're going to make plays based on whatever happens out here. So, to be quite honest, the benefit of this, if a team runs a slant, all right, they run a slant inside, these corners should actually be able to deal with that quite easily. I have a nice little technique that I use with my corners. It's a kind of trick of the trade. Can't really give that to you. What I will tell you is, if you have your guys sitting at 7 yards or even 5 yards, what they should be able to do is if they see that quarterback drop and at 2 seconds, he should be at his 3rd step. If they see him popping up at that, and you'll see that from the field level, that cornerback should see at that 3rd step, that quarterback is going to pop up or get his shoulder up. And if your corners aren't seeing that, because we're dealing with youth football and they may not understand what exactly they're seeing, you need to be on the sideline, pointing it out. Hey, come back over here, and we'll talk in between plays. You see that quarterback drop out, and you see him popping up like that, start expecting the ball. So if they were to see that, you can tell them to start driving ahead, and they should have a great intersection point in order to intercept the ball. All right, so this receiver should never be able to get a clear break inside because your corner is already sitting back. And should be able to pre-read that. All right, same thing. His job also is to, if this guy is running the streak is going to be run into the deep coverage. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this route out real quick and have the have the receiver shoot up. This is have him shoot up field. All right, this cornerback should collision him at 7 yards. All right, we're going to collision and let him go. And I mean collision. I don't mean touch. I mean collision. So teach your corners how to jam And because we're in Little League, this isn't the pros, you can collision until the ball is in the air. So you can hit the receivers after 5 yards in Little League or youth football. All right? So let that receiver go up. By the time he gets to the level of your corner, he needs to jam him or let him release. That safety should see that and gives that safety enough time to get over the top and actually protect against them deep routes. All right? Or he can also, at the time that he collisions him, if this guy is going inside, he can scream to the safety, inside, or post, so the safety knows what to expect. All right. Again, we have zone on the outside, zone on the edges. Normally they'll have some type of cover 2 zone in the middle. Everybody will be in a hook zone in the middle of the field. But that's your call. You can also play man-to-man in the middle of the field. You can send pressure, whatever you want. It's totally up to you. Now, there are, I say, flaws to this defense. Now, I know Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl running the cover 2, and their cover 2 was they actually sat this middle linebacker in the zone, so it was almost like a cover 3. They called theirs a cover 2 buck. And that's basically they sat this man deeper than both of these 2 outside linebackers. They collisioned everything and kept everything in front of them. All right. But what I worry about at the youth level is these cornerbacks have got into a habit of sitting on routes and not moving, not backpedaling. All right, now, by trade, I play D-back. By trade, I coach D-backs, so I'm real particular on that type of thing. If your corners aren't playing the coverage right or aren't backpedaling, that puts a whole lot of stress on the defense, especially on our safety. We can't have anybody releasing free. Just like we can't have a tight end coming off the line of scrimmage, all right? We can't have a tight end here coming off the line of scrimmage without this end chipping them, all right? I don't believe in clean releases. Nobody should be coming off the line of scrimmage clean. Hit them, disrupt him so that he can't get to where he's going. We want to always throw off the time. The same thing with the cornerback. If he's just sitting there and isn't ready to collision that receiver, he's just sitting there looking in at that quarterback and he doesn't do anything, because I see this a lot where guys are just sitting there and they're trying to look good like the corners on Sundays, not knowing that these guys are professionals, not knowing that these guys have amazing ball skills to play the ball. But still, even at the professional level, bad technique is bad technique. So that's one of the reasons why I actually don't like a lot of cover 2 zone in youth football, because it teaches bad technique early. Because, to be quite honest with you, the football that you see on TV by your favorite players is what you're going to try to emulate on the field. So if they see their favorite player just sitting there and shaking, or just sitting there waiting for the ball to get in the air and then take off, that's what they're going to do. We can't have that. That's bad technique. What we really need is at the snap of the ball, these guys are either dropping out a couple steps but looking in at the quarterback. That's all you really need to do in a cover 2 zone. Your eyes should be on the quarterback. That's the only thing that's different than man-to-man. Man-to-man, I'm playing the receiver. Zone, I'm playing an area. So that allows me to look inside and look at the quarterback. All right? Laziness, not backpedaling, that should never happen from a cornerback. And again, I'm sorry that I'm talking about the corners, but that's my main area. And when we're talking about a cover 2 zone, it actually they play a key role in us running this cover. So again, this is your look at a cover 2 zone. Again, we have our corners set up. Some people are aggressive as 5 yards. I like 7 yards. Some actually sit back at 10 and want their players to run up. Another thing that you can worry about this zone, stop and go routes. I'll sit up, a receiver will run out here hard and plant, which you may not see at the Pop Warner level. You will see at the high school level. You're definitely going to see at the collegiate level. They'll run up and plant, get our cornerback to shoot up because he's trying to play an interception. He's trying to get an interception to pad his stats. And then they'll take right back off and head up the field. And now we're in trouble because we have an elite receiver or a good receiver going up against our safety who's not getting the benefit of a collision by that cornerback because the cornerback came up because he wasn't backpedaling at all. All right, so again, When you're running a cover two, you want to make sure that you coach your technique, and you understand that they have to collision anything that tries to get by them, and they have to make a play as far as tackling the receiver, no matter where the ball, gets to that receiver. That ball gets here on that slant. If he catches the slant, he doesn't get any yak. All right. If he catches a hook, he doesn't get any yak. Bottom line, wherever that ball is thrown and where that receiver catches it doesn't go any further than that. That's one of the keys about cover two defense. All right.